This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multi-asset and multinational hedge fund. By multi-asset, I mean we actively covering our position in multiple asset classes. While multinational, I mean we cover our positions at multiple locations of the globe. But like I repeated many times, and I would continue to repeat all the times, that we are a proprietary hedge fund. I repeat, proprietary hedge fund. By proprietary, I mean no third party. No third party can invest capital in our funds. Please. Guys, when I started my journey as a corporate treasurer in 2007, I strongly believe that banking is a noble profession. And by 2008 end, approximately 1 year into the treasury, I was completely disregarded this notion because by then I had many instances on the table which did confirm that banking is the most corrupt practice we have. Effective 2008, in fact, before 2008, the world been through many scandals. LIBOR manipulation scandal, scandals by Goldman Sachs, 1MDB, scandals by JP Morgan Chase, scandals by UBS, Credit Suisse, Deutsche, Barclays, you name the bank. You name the bank and you will see the scandal. Bank of America, Citi, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, you name the bank. It hardly make any difference. In India also, the list of banking scandals is not short. It is very, very large. We all knew that. In India, investors lost several billion US dollars in banking scandals. Who can forget Diwan Housing, Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services, Yes Bank, PMC Bank, and the list is very, very long. NSC, National Stock Exchange scandal. List is very, very long. The most important thing in the banking, which cannot be taken away even by the media, is statistics. And I strongly believe that statistics, if you are a strong reader of statistics, if you are able to understand the read between the lines, if you able to understand the numerical figures in statistics, and you're able to make a sense out of it, then there is nothing like it. There is nothing like it. But unfortunately, to make a sense from statistics, you have to work very hard. I'm shooting this video around 4 a.m. in the morning, when majority of the globe is sleeping or ready for sleep. It is 4 a.m. in the morning. And by the time I'll go to bed, it would be 5 or maybe 5:30 a.m. in the morning. And to me, it hardly makes any sense, or I hardly bothers how many dislikes and these things I get on the video. I hardly bother. Today, I was speaking to two of my friends who works in banks. You know that when you worked as a corporate treasurer, you made great relationships. It is up to you. Would you like to carry forward these relationships, or would you like to wind up these relationships? I am a person who believes in making relationships rather than winding up the relationships. Almost once or twice on a weekly basis, I interact with my friends in banking, take their opinion, what is happening, and sometimes they take my opinion. Sometimes we interact on a single issue which is highly debatable in nature. Example, the US national debt, example, USD INR, example, Euro, example, GBP. And then we make some consensus. Today, we were speaking on USD INR. One of my friends told me, what is your prediction about USD INR? And I gave my prediction on USD INR. Of course, I'm not naming this prediction in the public, because last time when I said that rupee turned 80, many people sent me negative comments. And rupee turned 83.8 as against prediction of 80. But I never expected any appreciation from the people, because I know one thing, that I'm not from paid media. Because if you're not from paid media, so you should not expect any appreciation. Today, when we were interacting, they asked me a question about forecast on Indian rupee. I gave my forecast, which I'm not making it public. And then they asked them, what is the reason behind that? Why are you making this forecast? You know that I am a person of statistics. I believed in statistics. I believe that as a corporate treasurer, you should avoid media. When I using a word media, I means global media, irrespective of any country. You should be avoiding media and you should work on the statistics. Because if you're able to make inferences out of statistics, most of your job is done. Yesterday, Honorable Bombay High Court made a remarkable judgment. And I have no words to thank you them. Unfortunately, thank you is the only word I can say to them, but I have no words, because I'm really grateful and gratitude to Honorable Bombay High Court for setting a landmark path. Because somewhere in 2020, when Reserve Bank of India faced Yes Bank 81 bonds worth around 8,400 crores, I immediately went into public and said that this is not a constitutional decision. Even today, in 2023, there are many things which Reserve Bank of India is doing, who would be coming up in future very soon. And when Honorable Bombay High Court reversed that decision, and if I'm not mistaken, gave around 6 weeks to Yes Bank to comply with, in this eventuality, Honorable Court set up a very high standard in judiciary, which means you may be a regulator, RBI or whatever, but that doesn't mean you have to go with the norms. But one important thing which I would like to request Honorable Bombay High Court, which is that the officials of Yes Bank who were involved in selling these 81 bonds to the retail investors, who barely hold any knowledge about them, why we can't book them? Because in the country like India, people even do not understand the meaning of intrinsic value. People even do not understand, the meaning of fair value, the difference between fair value and intrinsic value, implied volatility, beta, alpha. These basic things people do not understand. So, expecting they understand the 81 additional tier 1 documentation, they understand the COCO functionality, contingent convertible functionality, they understand subtle clauses. This is boiler contracts. These is too much, you know. In this eventuality, my request to Honorable Bombay High Court is that the officials of the Yes Bank who pushed these retail investors to invest their money in these bonds, knowing that these bonds are highly risky, and they should be pushing the investors to first study the documentation. In case they have any question about the documentation, they can, I would say, take up their questions in the documentation, and so on and so forth. Why can't we book these officials under 406, probably 407, 408, and 409 as well? Why I'm using 409, IPC 409? Because, the reason being it's criminal breach of trust. But I'm not sure whether 409 would exactly applicable, because at that moment of time, whether government was having any stake in Yes Bank or not, I'm not sure about that. But as we speak, SBI holding a stake. But at least under 406, we can book them. Breach of criminal trust. Criminal breach of trust. Why can't we book them? That is my humble request to Honorable Mumbai High Court. But at the end, I thank you very much to them for making this landmark judgment. It is around 81 pages, which I got it from the internet. I am definitely, I have taken a printout of all 81 pages, but expecting to study all 81 pages in a month's time, it's too much. I would definitely be studying each and every line of this judgment, and would be linking this my banking experience, my treasury experience, the Banking Act 1949, probably the Contract Act of India 1872, Indian Penal Code, which is Indian Penal Code IPC, and last but not the least CRPC, which is criminal procedures. But having said that, we all should be thank you to Mumbai High Court, for the reason being the court set up a very, very great standard for all of us, which means that now regulators would be thinking twice or probably thrice before doing similar kind of activities. Today also it is happening. Like, I don't want to quote any company, but there are several startups we have in India who raised several $billion of funding in the last several years. Common sense, whenever a foreign currency falls in India, comes in India, it comes under the root of AD. Now, when AD means authorized dealer, there are three kind of ADs we have, AD 1, 2, 3. All ADs fall under the jurisdiction of Reserve Bank of India, whether this is 1, 2, 3, under FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. When this money is hitting the market and then subsequently hitting the bank accounts of these startups, then these startups, what they do with the money, we all are aware about this. We all are aware about this, what they do with this. We have seen what is happening with Byju's. We have seen how good is the financial condition of Byju's. We have seen the Paytm around a week's time is now valued approximately 12 billion US dollars. 12 billion US dollars, which to me is beyond imagination. And the money which these startups are getting from their venture capitalist or private equity firm, this money is routed via AD, which is authorized dealers. And just check how many ADs are private sector banks. Sorry, better would be foreign banks. We all know the credentials of the foreign banks. We all know the credentials of Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citi, Standard Chartered, Barclays, Deutsche, ANZ, and all. We all knew about them. Citi, Credit Suisse, and all. One thing which we really need to understand is that, like this Yes Bank 81 took some time. Probably we need to wait for another couple of years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe more than that, but this scam will also unearth. Scam when venture capitalist and private equity firm invested heavily in loss-making startup for the sake of valuation game. And RBI knowing everything, let this money entered India, and this money at the end, the ultimately beneficiary in banking parlance, the ultimately beneficiary is not other than the startups. So I would say, give you a very simplistic reason. But this time, I will not name that foreign bank. Probably at the right time, I would be naming that foreign bank. So there is one foreign bank who is working in India, and there is hardly any scandal he left with. Hardly any scandal he left with. And suppose a venture capitalist or a private equity firm who is investing with, I would say any startup, and suppose they are remitting 300 million US dollars, tentative. Now, this 300 million US dollars is common sense passing from the authorized dealer in India. So there is one more leg of authorized dealer, which is the foreign party, because it's a USD transaction, so foreign party should be in the game. Not to mention this. Now when this 300 million is hitting India, then of course the AD, the authorized dealer, is making a good money. Even if he charge 1 bips in that 1 bips is a huge money. Not to mention this. After some time, the research division of the same foreign bank is coming up in the public and saying, buy this stock of a loss-making company because the target would be XYZ, right? Then what is this? Isn't this a conflict of interest? Isn't this 406 criminal breach of trust? I can easily give the name of that bank. I can easily give the name of that private equity or a venture capitalist firm and the startup also, but I'm not giving. But I have given you appropriate hints. Whose responsibility is to manage this? When you are acting as an AD in India, authorized dealer in India, in this eventuality, the research division of that bank should not be allowed to operate in India, because it is a clear conflict of interest. When one unit is accepting the remittance, making money, hedging it and whatever, other side, the research division of the same bank coming up in the public and saying, please buy this stock, it would be value XYZ. Just think about this. Probably in couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, this scam would also come into the picture. I'm telling you right now. To conclude, there are many issues which we need to settle down. And one of the basic issue which we need to resolve in Indian financial system is the conflict of interest. And that conflict of interest is arising when the foreign banks, without quoting any specific name, when their one division is doing X job while the second division is doing Y job, and both X or Y are correlated in nature. 99% investors do not understand that. 99%. Because they don't have banking background. How would they understand that? But at the end, it is happening. And probably it would continue even after many years. It would continue. But at the end, I once again thank you very much for Honorable Bombay High Court. And I would be definitely making a detailed video on each and every important points of Bombay High Court, which would be covering their judgments, the judgment on the Yes Bank, their comments, pleasures, displeasures, the sections which they are using under Indian Banking Act 1949, and many more things. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number, +91 9899 242 978. Let me repeat, +91 9899 242 978. In case you wish to have more information, you can visit our fixed income platform www.fixedincome.global. Let me repeat, www.fixedincome.global. Thank you very much. And I also request people to please download the judgment. It is available in the public domain. Kindly study this judgment. I understand it is very technical. You need a legal language. You need to understand the legal language. You need to understand the banking acts. You need to understand the treasury market. But those who understand that, they should download it. They should study it and see that what are the catches and misses as far as this whole 81 story is concerned. This is very important from a learning standpoint, and I request people to kindly done so. And we should also be thank you to the Mumbai High Court, to the Bombay High Court, that they spend enormous time, effort, energy, day, night in authoring this 81 pages judgment. They need a special thanks for that. Not only the thanks which definitely I am giving as far as the reversal of this 81 is concerned, the thanks also because of authoring 81 pager judgment which covers each and everything, the detailed holistic piece, which is really, really very good. And we should be giving special thanks, our gratitude to Bombay High Court. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon.